Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews, as always. My name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, but I am sure you already are. Welcome to another episode of Joes+Juice. I told you you wouldn't have to wait too long. We are back literally hours after the reveals, the fan Pulse live stream, where we got 8 different pre-orders, some pipeline reveals to talk about, and then of course there was ValaFair last weekend as well. So plenty of news to talk about in the world of G.I Joe and of course Action Force, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to recap that news, just give you our initial thoughts and if what we've pre-ordered, what we're excited about. You know the score, so buckle in, get involved in the chat. This is live right now on YouTube. If you're in the replay crew, you can leave some comments, but as always, I cannot do Joes+Juice on my own. I'm just the man in the chair, in the safe distance. These are the guys on the front line. Let me welcome, of course, Mini Plastic Multiverse Tom and Mark Tac. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Yeah, we good? You good, Mark? Yeah, good. Mark was excited to talk about this. Lots of stuff to form more conga lines on Mark's shelf. So we're not going to waste any time. Let me do the housekeeping real quick as some people trickle in here, and then we will get straight into the news. So you know the score, people. Thank you so much for supporting all the other live streams on the channel. Me and the Super Producer every Thursday, Legends and Liquor every other Sunday, which is this Sunday, by the way, if you're paying attention. Turtles and Tea with Tanner, Super Turk 5000, and then today, Joes+Juice. I think we're breaking a record of like the quickest we've ever recapped the news, which I'm loving, by the way. So thank you so much, everyone, showing some love. And if you want to show a little bit of extra love and get your comments heard and contribute to the channel, you can do so anything over £4 or $4. Friday, the talking robot works on Joes+Juice. She will read out your super chat, interrupt the show, and let us know your thoughts on these G.I Joe or Action Force reveals. As I said, there's plenty of them, and if you want to do a special, you can hit that join button. All right, show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Right, so gents, let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into it. So Hasbro Pulse Fanstream happened today. Now, it was originally meant to happen in February. It got delayed until I think they said like the 15th of March. And then last week, it was just pushed up a week. So no complaints. Here it is. So let's just dive straight in. So thanks to His Tank, who I'm just grabbing the images from. So let's start skipping through. So of course it was Emily, Lenny and Tony going through today's reveal. So as I said, we got some name only, some pipeline, and then we got some actual physical pre-orders. So we are going to recap it all. So first up, the name only reveals. Now, they didn't show any pictures or anything like that. They just sort of give you a name, let you know that this character is at some point coming to the classified line. But I have got some pictures for you in case you didn't know. So the very first one is Quick Kick. So Tom, just testing audio. What do you think of Quick Kick?
Awesome, because he's the last customer I have that I can replace.
Oh, very nice. So is this one that you have like had on your little wish list? Is it one that you had back in the day?
Yeah, definitely want, because I used the comic book Shang-Chi as the base for the customs to do the simple one. But he looks a bit too cartoony for the classified line, so I'm kind of looking forward to this one just to give it a bit more of the classified edge, I suppose.
Of course, this was their sort of Bruce Lee sort of tribute and stuff like every toy line did back in the day, as that was also popular. Mark, what do you think of Quick Kick?
Yeah, exciting. I mean, like Tom says, I think I echo what Tom says. I've seen a lot of people do that custom of using the Marvel Legends Shang-Chi, the comic book Shang-Chi. It's a Quick Kick. I think, like Tom says, yeah, probably that is a great body. Yeah, that's a great body mold, great figure. But interesting to see what they do with the classified version. Yeah,
I know this sounds weird to say, but we haven't had any topless classified figures yet. They've always had gear and equipment and stuff on, right? So I'll be curious to see how they sort of put the articulation on and put where they put in the brakes. Are they going to do an ab crunch, diaphragm? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always a little bit different. It's easy when you've got gear and stuff because you can hide it within the design of the gear, but when you're topless, they're going to have to work on that. So anyway, Quick Kick, whether he comes in 2023, we don't know. But he was the first name only reveal. Again, a little bit of variety to the line, which is what we always appreciate. The next one, a very popular choice. I can see Cloud in the chat. I know she is a big fan of this one. It's Big Boa. I think this is on a lot of people's radar for a character we would hope they would get to. And now they are. They've confirmed it. We are going to get a classified Big Boa. Boxing gloves and all, I'm sure. Mark, what do you think?
My favourite out of all these three reveals, and something I'm really looking forward to, Dan. A couple of characters that I really love, that I loved when they were revealed in the original line in childhood: Crocmaster, Big Boa, and there's a third one called Raptor. Those three. I remember seeing them on a book cover. Big Boa is one of them. Love it.
Yeah, very nice. Tom?
Well, this was on one of my top three of our Joes that we wanted last year.
Jeez,
so
yeah.
I think I had Shipwreck, this, and the green shirt. So I've got 2 of the 3 now.
Very good. By the way, people, go and check out the Joes+Juice playlist. Plenty of this is our 10th Joes+Juice, so there's plenty of content out there if you want to go back and listen to some of our thoughts. We did do a wish list stream, so go and check that, where we each give our top 3 Joes we'd like to see on the line. And to be fair, I think we've all at some point maybe ticked 1 or 2 of them off. So yeah, this next reveal was nearly one of mine. Not quite, but I do like the dog dynamic. What can I say? I just like adding the pets to the line. So this one is Mutt and Junkyard. Another mustache hero. They love putting the mustache. If you've got a mustache, you're guaranteed to be in the classified line. Now, for some reason, Lenny has a thing for mustaches. But I do like this Mutt and Junkyard. What type of dogs would you say? I'm not very good with breeds. I've got a little Shih Tzu, and that's about all I know about dogs. What breed of dogs is this?
Alsatian, I would have maybe said a guess. No, maybe.
It's not an Alsatian.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's not an Alsatian, but I'm not sure.
Someone in the chat.
Is it more like a pit bull or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what I mean. I didn't want to throw out a dog's and then someone be like, no, it's this dog. So I was just being honest, straight up, going, okay, I don't know technically what dog this is, but he looks vicious anyway. I don't want to mess with him. And if they do it to the standards they did Timber, then we know it's going to be very, very impressive. So Tom, do you like this as a choice for classified?
Anything with an animal, I'm in for. And I think this was probably the next one on my list of like guys with a dog. Not that there's that many of them, but this one is like, it looks just. I don't know what it is, but just the more animals we get, the better it is.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the one I picked for the dog. Oh, why is it? Whenever I go live, my mind goes blank. But there's
Law and Order.
Law and Order. There you go. Thank you very much. That was what I wanted. So like. This is close to it, as it's the same dynamic, but not quite Law and Order. But as I said, I just like the dog sort of handler dynamic. It's just that difference in the line with the animals and the pets, like Tom said. So you like this one, Mark?
Yeah. I mean, he was quite prominent. From what I can remember, I think he was quite prominent in the cartoon. So I'm sure Super 7 Ultimates will probably be doing a version, no doubt, at some point. But yeah, it looks cool. So let's see a classified version.
I think there is a what is it? Not retro. What did they call it? Reaction. I think there's a reaction version of this. People in the chat are saying it's a Rottweiler as well, which I was terrified as a kid. So obviously I've tried to erase them from my brain. But yes, terrifying dogs. I think I used to have a dog on my street that would chase me when I walked home from school, and I was shit scared of dogs for years because of it. I'd be up in the trees with the cats going, It's just me and a herd of cats in the tree hiding from this dog. Hated it. I think that was a Rottweiler, but brings back horrible memories. But there you go. There's the name only reveals from the stream. Very excited to see them. Again, assuming this year, maybe fourth quarter, but again, that's just guessing games. We don't really know. Okay, let's get into the actual pipeline reveal. So this is the next phase. So after they reveal a character by name, then they show us the digital render, okay? And this is sort of last step before we get the product and the pre-order and stuff like that. So first up, this is Tunnel Rat, I believe. As you can see, his night vision goggles there on his shoulders. So Tom, what do you think of Tunnel Rat?
Well, I'm kind of surprisingly pleased, because this was the one maybe out of all of these where I thought I'm not too fussed about it, but I think the introduction of the night vision goggles and I like the deco on the face reminds me of, what's the G.I Joe cartoon where they almost like go off like the 80s, because he was in that one, but I can't remember what it's called. Not Resistance.
One of the newer ones.
Resolute.
Resolute, that's the one. Is it Resolute? I don't know. I can't remember now. But one of the newer cartoons where they're kind of off like the 18, it looks exactly like that. And I think that is really my mind's eye of him. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, seeing the up close images there, I like the night vision goggles down. I like the sort of pair of night vision goggles.
That's his gimmick, is it? That's his gimmick.
That's his gimmick. Yeah. No, it looks good. Yeah, I mean, presumably, you'd have to guess this is going to be the following wave, I presume. So yeah.
Those flashlights as well apparently plug into the bag, so obviously you can have him with his night vision goggles on, and then the two lights sort of beaming out of his shoulders. Yeah, again, very nice addition to the line. I always enjoy seeing the digital renders and seeing what accessories and stuff we're going to get with the figure. So of course he has a bit of weaponry there, but again, his gimmick is the night vision goggles. His tunnel rat, for God's sake. Okay, next up. This one was very anticipated by a lot of people because the first figure was part of Cobra Island, if I remember correctly, and really hard to get hold of for a long time. I think it did pop back up and again at retail over time, but it's Firefly. So I'm curious because we have already got a pretty good Firefly in the classified line. So this is probably, apart from characters that have been redecoed for a different theme, do you know, like we've got Duke in Tiger Force and Duke in the main line, this is the first sort of character where they've went from the subline to the main line with a little twist. So I'm curious to see what you think here, comparing it to the previous one. Any thoughts, Tom?
I like it a lot. I prefer the body, definitely, because he had that weird like body armor on him before, like a kind of bomb disposal guy. So the body's definitely a lot more classic. I kind of would have preferred if he had a bit more of a classic pack rather than they've kind of still slightly tried to modernise it, which I don't really know if they needed to do, as we'd had a fully modernised version.
Yeah.
The only thing I really did love about the first version was the head sculpt, because it reminded me of the second the guy who played him in the second movie.
Ray something. He played the Punisher.
Yeah, Ray.
I know who you're on about. I can't remember his name. We're live, people. This stuff always eludes us. But yeah, looking at all this stuff, this time instead of his little drone, because the last one came with a drone, didn't it? They've modernised him with a bloody remote control car. Mark, what do you think of this new Firefly?
Yeah, I think he looks good, Dan. I've got a feeling it's going to be retro card. I've got, usually when they show the retro card, they show that red background. So I've got a feeling it's a retro card release.
No, they usually, the coloured backgrounds are usually whether they're Joes or Cobra.
Oh,
it's never really been. I don't think it's ever been in relation to the two things. And also, I do think that these pipeline reveals are all part of the same wave, because that's usually. I'm just going on past sort of reveals and stuff. Tom can correct me if he thinks any different.
That's what I was just assuming they're all the same wave, and they'll be the next wave along.
Yeah, I think he was rumoured to be in the retro line, because that's where we all thought we'd get the more stripped down sort of look for Firefly, but it seems like he's popping up here in the main line,
in the regular line.
So do you like him in comparison? Because you had my spare Firefly, didn't you?
I did. That's true. Yeah. Yes. I'm quite happy with the original release, to be honest. Like Tom says, I liked the sort of crazy look face in the original release and the kind of scars on the original release. I'm one of those people who, it doesn't have to be totally classic with Joe's and Cobra with me. I do like some of the modernized versions. So I like, all the sort of very classic versions we're getting. But to be honest, I'm not sure. I may pick him up, but I'm quite happy with the original one. So, but yeah, for anyone that's missed out, or anyone that couldn't get Cobra Island, anyone in the States couldn't get him because he was a Target exclusive, perfect to have a re-release.
So Ray Stevens was.
There you go.
Ray Stevens.
The remote control car thing. Like I get that they're like Tom said, they're modernising the sort of, they're still giving him that sort of modern element type thing. The remote control car just reminds me of like Call of Duty and stuff like that. Like, do the military, again, my actual military knowledge is like, I just love toys, people, but like, do they actually use remote control cars to infiltrate places and blow them up, or is that just a Call of Duty type of thing? That's what it reminds me of anyway. But
needs a silver main head, Dan.
Do you know what? That's right behind me. There it is. I've got a pneumo control car for Silvermane's head. So yeah. But anyway, there you go. So there's Firefly with all his accessories, etc. Again, an opportunity to add that character this time in the main line as well. So maybe it will be easy to get. Next up,
just going back to my previous memory lapse.
Oh, go on.
It was G.I Joe Renegades.
As in,
there's too many bloody G.I Joe something beginning with R.
For Tunnel Rat, do you mean? Is that what you've seen, Tunnel Rat?
Yeah, for Tunnel Rat.
Yeah. Okay, Renegades. Next up, for the record, I've not watched any of the modernised Joe stuff. It's just toys and the original cartoon. I haven't even seen the movies. Do you know, like with Bruce Willis and Channing Tatum? I've not even seen them. Are they worth watching?
You should watch Resolute because it's 50 minutes. It's a cartoon and it's amazing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah. I'm going for that. Okay, next up, Lowlight. Lowlight. So I think Bobby Vala posted about this on his I think the Valaverse or 3POA podcast Facebook group. Apparently, this is one that he worked on when they did the anniversary line, and it was his idea to do the actual bag where you put the sniper rifle and stuff in it, the case. So I think I seen that just before I went live. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, someone. But here he is with his sniper rifle, again based off his anniversary look rather than straight up original. But he does come with the case for his sniper. It will come apart and pack away. And apparently the goggles do come off as well, but we haven't seen the render of the face. So Tom, what do you think of Lowlight here?
Yeah, it looks cool. I almost feel like the thing I'm most excited about is the case.
There you go.
The moment they put it up, I was like, oh, that case looks really cool. The figure looks cool as well, but I was almost just drawn to the case. I was just like, yeah, I've got to get it for the case, and that was about it.
It always reminds me of a terrible mob movie where they're pretending they've got saxophones or instruments in these cases, and then they.
You mean violin?
Yeah, like violins, and then they whip them out, and it's just guns and stuff, ridiculous. But as I said, the goggles will come off. He comes with a couple of other weapons up top there as well, but apparently the sniper will break down into the separate pieces because you've got the tripod there, you've got the scope, and then you've got the obviously main rifle, and then you've still got the backpack that will plug into the back, and then he's got another rifle, another knife, which I'm assuming will go in the sheaths on his thighs there. Mark, what do you think of Lowlight?
Yeah, I think it's good. Well, it shows how much attention I was paying during the stream, Dan, because I thought that was a canoe that he came with. But,
hey, good to know. Look, we would spot that a mile away, wouldn't we, if there was a canoe? Just hollow it out a little bit more. It can sort of work.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. Why I was so drawn to it.
It was, yeah. It's very canoe-like.
Yeah. No, another great release. Yeah. Don't know too much about Lowlight as a character myself. Yeah, interesting to know that Bobby Vala initially worked on it. I know Bobby Vala was planning a G.I Joe line, with Hasbro, which never saw the light of day, which is a shame. But yeah, interesting to know he worked on that as well. Great looking figure.
I'm trying to find, quickly have a look at, I don't know where, Bobby Vala himself posted it somewhere just after the stream, but I don't know exactly which group he put it in. I'm just having a quick scroll to see if I can see it. Does ValaVerse have its own Facebook group? Because he did a decent side-by-side, that was all. So I think he might have posted the side-by-side.
There's a 3POA group as well.
If I can find it in the stream, I'll pop it up. Because you can definitely see the comparison, even down to the breakdown of the accessories he comes with. But like Mark was saying about in regards to not being familiar with the characters, I will never claim to say I know everything and know everything about characters. We just have the nostalgic attachment or through whatever forms of media we grew up with or what figures we had. But I always love discovering new characters via the medium of action figures, whether it be classified or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm like you, Mark, where if there's a character I don't know about, I'm going to go and learn about him and then get excited that it's happening and stuff like that. So always fun. Like this last reveal, for example. This last one, I sort of recognised, but I wouldn't try. But then I realised it's part of it's sort of a more modern take on Joe's, if I remember correctly. And where is he? There he is. Shadow Tracker. Now, this name reveal only, I think, was revealed at MCM London. That's why I remember they revealed this name only reveal at the same time they revealed Big Ben. And it is based more on the modern sort of G.I Joe line rather than the back in the day in the original. And yeah, crazy ghost-like equipment here. Let me zoom in. He comes with three sort of alternate masks. I can only assume the way they explained it. I would assume there's a face under there, and you can plug the masks in. But obviously, this is just one digital render. You've got this very much school one, with the school ones also on the school that matches what's on his shoulder as well. And then you've got the more I'm not sure if it's just translucent or it's just the colour, because that's very much what the colour sort of scheme was on the other ones back in the day. And I'll try and find an image to show you what I'm talking about while you are talking. But yeah, there you go. So he comes with his crossbow, his quiver for his bow, a separate bow, which I always appreciate, by the way. I hate Legends where they just give us a big thick quiver with no bows or anything to hold, so I do appreciate that element. So yeah, more jungle vibes, I think, grounded. So what do you think of this one, Mark?
Yeah, it looks cool. Like you, Dan, when they announced Shadow Tracker at MCM, I hadn't actually heard, I knew very little about him, but very cool looking figure. It's sort of I'm presuming he's a Cobra agent. I'm guessing he's a Cobra. Well, it's red background, so he probably is Cobra, yeah. But yeah, be interested to learn more. Looks good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an image now of the original release. Because as I said, this is like modern Joes, not like retro Joes. So I wasn't collecting at this point. So it's one of them where I'm definitely going to have to go back and learn about. Let me see if I can grab this image on screen for you. Is that one pop up for you?
Yeah.
So there he is. So that was. So I'm guessing this is the 2000, into the 2010s at this point type thing. Because it's maybe when those movies were coming out or something. I'm not too sure on the timeline. But it's Hasbro, of course. And you can sort of see where the influence is, but not quite at the same time either. But they've sort of made their own take on it.
He's got dreadlocks there.
Yeah, that's why we were quite excited with the initial reveal, because we were like, oh, okay, this could be really, really cool. But obviously, he has. Where's the image there? Instead, they've just. It sort of looks like a hood rather than the big thick dreadlocks that's on that version, if you know what I mean. But what do you think?
He almost looks Predator-esque.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Do you like it, Tom?
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I actually no showing that one. I prefer a little there, but it looks nice. I like the idea of the interchangeable faces, and the layout's pretty cool. He's a different looking character, which is always nice to kind of add a bit of variety to the shelf.
Yeah,
most of my Joe knowledge is from some of the comics, but mainly the cartoons, and I don't recognise him from the cartoons.
No, I don't think this guy was in the cartoons at all. It's a modern. I say modern, but it's like it's still probably 20 bloody years ago now at this point. But he has got like a weird green translucent mask on this figure. You can't really see it in the packaging, but you can see it better here on the image on the side there. So they have tried to give you a little taste of that with that interchangeable mask, rather than they're still trying to ground it. It's sort of with the mask face. It does remind me of the Action Force. What's the Action Force guy with the mask on his face? The
Bone Collector.
Yeah. Bone Collector.
Or Bone Collector.
Yeah. Both Valaverse, they count. But I prefer the more Predator look. I'm not going to lie. I would have preferred more big, thick, long dreads. I don't know why. That sort of Predator vibe look would have been pretty cool. But that is where the influences come from for sure. So out of those 4 pipeline reveals, what are your sort of favourite out of the 4 there? If you had to pick one you could get straight away, where are the 4? There's all 4 there. Which one's your favourite there, Mark?
Probably the Shadow Tracker, just because it's a bit different. It's more modern, like you say, sort of Predator vibes. Probably that one out of the 4, I'd say, Dan. Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
Well, I'm falling more towards Firefly, but then we've already had him, so I'm torn between him and Tunnel Rat. Tunnel Rat's kind of come out of left field and surprised me how much I like it. Well, so either one of those 2, I think.
Well, just to be different, then I'll go with Low Light, because they're all great, and I would take any one of them. But I like Low Light, the sniper, the case and stuff, just a little bit different. But like you said, they're all great, and as you can, this sort of 4 figures here is an example of how they're pulling reference from all over the history of Joes here. So like, again, like that Shadow Tracker wasn't in the original line type thing. They're tweaking versions that we've already had. So there's the 4 pipeline reveals. Because we've got digital renders, I can only assume that we will see these in this calendar year. But again, time will tell, distribution and all that. So let me scroll back up and keep going through, because this is when they got into the actual reveal. So I think they started off with Bazooka. So let's start with Bazooka here. So Bazooka, we knew he was coming. This has been revealed to us already, but now we can see the figure in hand. So I think all of us have already got the Tiger Force Bazooka, and that was quite recent. So this is just a straight up repaint, right? There's nothing extra or different. It's just a repaint to his more like mainline colours. Am I right in saying that, Tom? Because I know this is one that you really wanted.
It's a repaint, but it looks so much better, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I love the original version that came out a couple of months ago, but this is the classic version, and I've kind of been saving any photos I want to take of Bazooka till I get this version. So I cannot wait to get this version in hand. Yeah,
it shouldn't be. This is the one on Hasbro Pulse UK, by the way. So again, annoyingly, this isn't something that any of us support, by the way. But G.I Joe Classified is now a Pulse UK exclusive. Like everything's a Pulse UK. G.I Joe Classifieds are not sold anywhere else in the UK now. Annoyingly, like not something any of us get behind. We don't understand it. We don't like it. But unfortunately, that's the way it currently is. So just going off what's on Pulse, if we go to Bazooka here. It says, now I don't think this is going to happen, but it says it's due the 23rd of March, which is literally 2 weeks tomorrow. So do you think you're going to see this in 2 weeks' time, Tom?
Well, I wonder if it would make sense if they were making the original, what was it, Python Patrol version? No,
yeah.
Tiger Force.
Yeah.
That maybe they moulded both and then they just painted them
up. Run that again, but with red, please. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe they did that, and that's why it's really that much earlier than all the rest.
Yeah. When I was looking through some of the images as well, like he was the only one that had like actual product images with the layout. The rest was still like advanced digital renders. But before I come to Mark real quick, let me just remind you, in the chat, I did ask that exact same question that I just asked Tom and Mark in the chat. So there's a poll up right now that asks for what is your favourite pipeline reveal out of the 4. So that's Tunnel Rat, the new Firefly, Low Light, and Shadow Tracker. And it's quite close. Like there's with over 60 votes now, there's it's quite a fair mix. 22% Tunnel Rat. Currently in the lead is the new Firefly, 31. But then it's 27 for Low Light and 20% for Shadow Tracker. So a few votes and that can change. So I'll keep popping to that as we go through the stream. But please let me know your favourite pipeline reveal on the live chat poll right now. So let's go to Mark with Bazooka here. Is Bazooka, your mind's eye of Bazooka in the red? Do you prefer this over the Tiger Force version?
Well, I did until I actually prefer the Tiger Force version out of the 2 now. I mean, before I saw the Tiger Force version, this was my mind's eye. But I do actually really like the Tiger Force version, Dan and Tom. So I think it's good. I kind of feel a bit like, well, with some of the repaints, I probably might. I'll order the individual the characters, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure about the repaints. I mean, I've pre-ordered this guy, but yeah, I mean, he is your mind's eye of Bazooka, like Tom says. I know Tom's a big Bazooka fan, so yeah, a great choice, and yeah, he looks great, and he looks fantastic.
I'm building a squad of like mustache characters. I'm just going to call them the mustache unit or something like that, and it's like just Recondo, the couple of bazookas. They could be the bazooka twins. I'll just have both versions, and like
I tell you what, it does make me think now, Dan, and I think he's got a mustache. In the cartoon, Bazooka sort of was really close friends with Alpine. Yeah. And it makes me want Alpine now, really, really, really bad. Oh, is Tom showing off his custom there again?
No, that's another mustache. It's Recondo.
Yes,
it's Recondo.
Yeah, but Alpine, it makes me really think it makes me pine for Alpine. But yeah, Alpine would be a good choice.
Air Extreme in the chat is on the same wavelength as you. He says we now need Bazooka's best mate Alpine. The Fossil says, how is shipping from Hasbro Pulse UK? Fair prices, NECA Hall of Fame costume prices? No, absolutely not. Fair. Hasbro Pulse is free shipping anything over £50. If not, it's £4 shipping from Yodel. And to be fair, I've never had a bad experience with Hasbro Pulse shipping, if I'm allowed to say a nice word. I usually get them next day. It doesn't say next day delivery, but I do usually get things next day. Is it about the same for you guys in regards to shipping? With
yeah, it's good for me.
Yeah, same.
And there are certain workarounds to always get free.
There is, but let's not say them publicly in case they change it. But there is. Also, Sean in the chat says the US site says September 1st. For Bazooka. So yeah, always very weird. Distribution's an odd thing. Trust me, I do think these dates on Hasbro Pulse will change. All 5 of the figures in this wave have a different release date. But Bazooka just caught me by surprise because it's literally 2 weeks' time. It says it's going to be in stock. So I'll report back in 2 weeks' time, but we shall see. But it says September 1st for the US, and that seems a lot more likely. But yeah, with Bazooka, I'm with you. It's just a character, one of the main sort of characters that's very instantly recognisable. That red's going to pop on the shelf amongst your very military colours. And yeah, always been a fan of this character design. So yeah, happy to see him. So let's keep going through. So the next one I think they showed off was Copperhead. So let's go Copperhead. So there's some digital renders, again, a Copperhead, and then we should have some promo images. All the actual pre-orders now that have went up, we actually have proper promo images. So here he is. So we found out straight away that the helmet never came off, but that was a design choice. They wanted to keep it that way. Another Cobra. Again, see how I mean? These are digital render. That's definitely a digital render, not an image type thing compared to Bazooka. There it is in the packaging with everything we get. So again, another character we knew we were getting for a while, but it is always nice to see these in hand when the promo pictures are out, etc. So what do we think of Big Boa?
Copperhead.
Thank you. Got his name as well, yeah.
It's an easy mistake to make as Irish.
I've got a list of names in front of me, and I'm like bouncing back to them, going blah, 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 blah. So what do you think, Tom?
Copperhead, yeah.
I think he looks bloody amazing. I was really looking forward to this one, but he looks even better in the actual product photo, not the renders. I think he looks better in the product photos where they've clearly got him down on a diorama and taken some shots of him. He just looks like a really impressive figure, to be honest.
Yeah, imposing. Imposing. I like it.
Yeah, and that helmet looks nice. You kind of worry because when you look at the classic figures, obviously the helmets all look a bit blurred into the head. So when they show the render, you kind of your mind kind of goes to somewhere between the two about looking real life. But this looks just the whole sculpt looks really good.
I know they talked about.
That looks good.
Yeah. I know they talked about like choosing to only have the helmeted head, but I don't mind it because that's the way I would have displayed him anyway. And you can still see the eyes and the character behind there. But I'm zooming in here just to show you. You've got the deep butterfly joints there, with the sort of vest, and then you've got the pinless double jointed elbows as well, which we appreciate. So yeah, completely pinless for people that love the no pins. I do have a no pin emoji, by the way. You feel free to use it. Shout out Rectangular in the chat, by the way, telling people to hit that like button. Please do. Algorithms are a very confusing thing, but apparently that helps. So thank you very much in advance. So Mark, what do you think?
I haven't gone over these before, since we watched the stream. Is everything pinless now?
Well, we can go. It's not something I paid attention to too much, but if we bounce back just to Bazooka real quick, we've already got Bazooka, so we know this.
Bazooka has got pins, hasn't he? Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, Bazooka had pins on the original. So.
Right, it's pinless arms here.
Not on his arms, but I think on his legs.
Yeah, pins on the legs. Yeah, so that's just a straight up reissue of the Tiger Force one. But moving on with all these new characters, we can definitely pay attention to that. But something I definitely noticed here with Copperhead. All right, so let me bounce back. So Mark, what do you think of Copperhead?
Yeah, it looks good. I like the sort of different coloured greens on the design. My only gripe is, at my mind's eye, is that he's always in a red boat. So that's making me want the boat. Like, maybe a 3D printer or something out there might do the job, because it's going to be it's going to be a HasLab if it were a classified boat. But I always remember him in cartoons things being the pilot of a boat, so it kind of makes me want a boat for him to or a canoe.
I don't know if this is canon, but I've got something in my eye, by the way, so if I'm poking my eye, you know why. I don't know if this is canon, but is he mates with Crocmaster? It seems like he should be.
He should be.
Like they should play that up together. But...
Okay, it seems like they should be. I might introduce him to Crocmaster on my shelf and see if they want to be mates. I think that will work fine for me. Okay, so there's Copperhead. Next up, what did they reveal? I'm trying to go in the order they revealed them, you see, but it's all over the place. Okay, let's go with one that I really, really like. Torpedo. Now, this one is full of accessories, and they could have very easily just tried to shove it into a deluxe figure, but I'm very glad it isn't. It's a regular main line, and I love the display options with this guy. Very, very cool looking figure with all the accessories that come off his sort of tank, his sort of not snorkel as such, but whatever you call it, the mask and the breathers and the flippers come off as well. They attach with pegs on the feet, I think. This guy was always one that I was looking forward to, but seeing it now, seeing the actual pictures and stuff, makes me very, very excited to get it in hand. Very curious how I'm going to display this one. I might have to get an aquarium. Amanda, are we allowed to get an aquarium? I'll find out. But Tom, I know this is one you loved as well. So you're liking now we've seen the official pictures and all that?
It looks absolutely epic.
Yeah.
And I think what's exciting is we're just going to get more and more diving characters because they're going to reuse this body again and again until they've exhausted every diving character they can come up with. So yeah, I'm very happy with it, and it looks great with the mask on or off. So
I love that option.
There's not much not to like about this one, I think.
Yeah, I really do appreciate that option. As I say, options are never a bad thing. No one's displays are the same. There's no right or wrong way to display it. It's your own preference. And like as I said, you're going to need a tank or something to display this properly if you want to, but either way, it will look great on the shelf. California Red Devil in the chat shouts, Scuba Steve! And I can definitely see the Scuba Steve. Shout out Big Daddy Adam Sandler. You know what I'm talking about. Mark, what do you think of Torpedo?
Yeah, this is one of my favourites, actually. I've got 3 that were my favourites in the wave, and this was one of them. I think he looks just like Tom says, and yourself, Dan. He looks epic with all the gear on. I mean, he's going to look great. It's like a fish out of water, isn't he? Among all your army men or whatever, you know, your other Joes. And then him with the flippers and snorkel, like standing next to them on the battlefield. But yeah, he just does look epic. Yeah.
I'm doing a quick pin check as well, by the way. Completely pinless, it seems, which definitely does help to the aesthetic. It makes it very streamlined with all his gear on. And by the way, this is what I love about Joes as well, is and like these type of figures that you can display. I've got boxes and boxes of Marvel Legends accessories that just sit there taking up space, where with Joes I love that you can attach on all their weaponry, all their pieces, and just put them on the shelf, and then at any point you can just grab the character, change it up without having to go to boxes or pulling out drawers. So yeah, this one I like this pose here just for standing on the shelf, but again, you've got to find a way to display him or all geared up, because that's what makes him so unique compared to everything we've got so far. Just really,
you could almost have him though with his mask off, and then 2 more behind him with the masks on, his diving crew.
Exactly, because you have those display options. It's just people in. Even though it's a particular character, of course you could buy a couple of these and have your own little diving sort of crew. In the chat, a few other people are saying Scuba Steve. The Fossil says, I can see a Cobra Eel 2-pack with a reuse of this body, and I'm fine with that. And so am I, the Fossil. I absolutely, like Tom says, reuse of this body. And again, completely pinless body with all the accessories, different ways to display him. Definitely potential for buying a couple here. As I said, I'm not even joking. I need an aquarium now. Like I need just a couple of them floating around in the tank with my Joes.
They'll do wetsuit as well.
Yeah. There you go. And then we can get our canoe, people. Then finally, it's our day will come. We can have our canoe. Okay, so there's Torpedo. Great looking figure. Next up, I will go to Shipwreck. So here we have Shipwreck. We've seen those digital renders, but there he is in person. With his pet Polly. 2 different ways to plug on Polly as well. One on the rope, one on his arm. And Polly has a peg leg. Polly literally has a wooden peg leg. So it's hidden into the design how you peg her on. Very nice. I'm not mad about it. Also, Shipwreck has an interchangeable hairpiece or a hat. So you can have his hat or you can have him without his hat. And when I zoomed in on his face, it sort of reminded me of, not the digital renders as such. Let me find the promo images for him. Where is he? Here he is. This face.
Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the cosmic Peter Parker head sculpt, isn't it? It's sort I'm just saying, when I seen this, I was like, hey, Peter, Shipwreck in disguise. Maybe it is another identity. But anyway, Shipwreck. Tom, we know this is one that you were really excited about. It now exists. Sorry, I'm just closing some tabs here. It now exists in figure form. Pre-orders up. What do you think?
Absolutely amazing. It's just pure classic, isn't it? There's not really anything wrong with it. The extra hairpiece is nice, but I'm not sure I'll ever display him like that. He's always going to have his hat on for me.
So I'm trying to zoom in and see if we can do a little pin check. So, yeah, double pinless arms, double pinless legs as well. You can see the peg there in the wrist for Polly, and then the peg in the actual rope for Polly as well. And then the hairpiece. To be fair, I'm like Tom. It looks. I'm not going to ever take the hat off. To be fair, I don't mind the option though, and it looks seamless. It doesn't look weird or anything like that, you know. So, not mad about it at all. What do you think, Mark? Shipwreck?
Well, I know I've mentioned it on Joes+Juice a couple of times before. But I'll keep it. It's short on this one. It's sort of fulfilling a childhood. Nostalgic memory for me, because when I was young, it was one of the first Joes that me and my sister had. So it's really nice to get this one as a classified version. And for me, what would finish that off would be getting Airtight some point down the line in classified form, because he was probably my first G.I Joe or Action Force back then that I had. But yeah, a great figure.
Yeah, looking great. Again, like Tom said, this is the one where they haven't really took too many liberties in like trying to change him up or modernize him as such. It's very much a mind's eye look brought into the classified line, which I appreciate. And for a character that's like so niche and themed in this particular way, I think it was the right choice. I think the one thing Lenny did say is that they sort of changed a few of his tattoos, but like, let's be honest, those 3 3/4 inch figures, like, you're not noticing every detail and every tattoo anyway, do you know? So
changed his stripes on his shoulder as well, I think of it as well.
Yeah.
There's an extra insignia above them.
Yeah.
Can we go to the shot? Have you got the shot of the box?
I think I do. So there's the front. Have I got the back? I'm trying to see if
I want the front. I want to ask the chat if there's any relevance to there being a bicycle on that submarine deck.
Okay, there's a bike there.
It looks really odd. Yeah. Why is there a bike on the submarine deck?
I don't know. Is maybe it's just like someone who took the picture had a bike accessory. I don't know. Maybe he rides a bike. Are we going to get a deluxe Shipwreck with a bike one day? I don't know, Tom. I don't know is the answer.
It's the bike left over from the Python Patrol Trooper.
I genuinely don't know. Not a clue. But I haven't been showing the packaging off, by the way. But as you can see here with Shipwreck, they have sort of tweaked the packaging a little bit, and sort of now you can see the accessories on the front. You still get that original art for each character, but they've sort of changed up the design a little bit.
Yeah, the colour's different. It used to be blue for Joe's.
Yeah, so they have sort of changed up. They've sort of now got that black sort of trim.
Is it black on all of them, or is it just black on the Joe's?
Yeah, let's go back and look at the ones we've seen. So Copperhead is black as well, and I think so is Torpedo. So yeah, I think that's just a new theme going forward. It's just that black sort of outline trim, but they're showing the accessories on the front, which I appreciate. And if on the back they've got the digital renders, and they show you the different ways you can pose it or plug in the accessories. Let's have a little look. This is, again, we're just looking at this for the first time, people. So we're just talking out loud here. But yeah,
Jordan S says it's a teaser from the cartoon.
Ah, okay. So did he ride a bike in the cartoon regularly or something? Oh,
I can't remember.
So Greg says Shipwreck showed up late after having to ride his bike to the port and had nowhere to out it. Yeah, just left it on. Anyway, but again, we don't really talk about the packaging as such because none of us are inbox collectors. But just quick comment on the packaging, considering they have changed it up a little bit. Do you prefer it to the other one?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I don't get why they don't just go full on retro style kind of branding.
Same.
I think that would appeal to more people.
Yep, I agree. I don't hate this, by the way. I think Joe's. I'm not a big fan of plastic-free packaging, full stop, period, personally. But I think they're trying to make the most of it here. Definitely better than what the Legends team are doing at the minute. Like original art on the front, graphic accessories all on the front as well. So I don't know. Not something I feel too passionately about anyway, but it is what it is.
I definitely prefer the black to the old blue packaging, but it would be better if they had a window.
It's like Black Series, don't they? They change up their packaging every couple of years just to sort of, I don't know, because they it must annoy inbox collectors actually if they're like creating like a completionist display or something, and then there's a point where the packaging changes. But this is the point for Joe's. This is the first time we're seeing this packaging. Okay, so we've looked at Bazooka, Torpedo, and Shipwreck. Let's go on to this one. Now, this one, like, I've really liked it, but seeing it in person made me like it a hell of a lot more than I thought. So yeah, it's rock and roll, people. Rock and roll, yeah, rock and roll. Yeah. This I didn't even know it came with that hand. Like, did they show that before or anything like that? So rock and roll. What's that?
I don't remember that hand, but when it's in render form, you kind of don't notice these things.
I don't think in the digital render they showed us any interchangeable hands.
No, I don't think they did. Yeah.
In any of the digital renders, we've only seen weaponry and stuff and backpacks and helmets and heads. We don't ever see what interchangeable hands they come with, because that is a fair criticism of Joe's, is that they don't have enough interchangeable hands. Everyone's got trigger fingers, but nobody can wave or throw a punch apart from Sergeant Slaughter. But Sergeant Slaughter has the pins in the arms, which still bugs me when you've got all these beautiful pinless figures coming up. But anyway, rock and roll. We now see him without his helmet off. He's got his massive gun with that trail of ammo as well, which is really cool to look at. He's got all the tattoos on either side. He does, talking about the interchangeable hands, he does have the interchangeable hands, so we can do that rock and roll pose. So that's what we get. We get the big gun, the big row of ammo. He gets his 2 ammo sort of stacks over him anyway, they're crossing over, and he still gets a pistol. Yeah, this one, helmet on. He's even got a walkie-talkie there as well, and an ammo box there for his gun. This one looking really, really nice. Let me get these pictures up properly while we talk about this. Tom, you said I could see you smiling as I was talking about this one. This one's good, right?
What's funny, in a wave where there's a bazooka and a shipwreck, I think this might look the best.
He looks.
I think cool. When I get this hand, I'm going to be like, this is the best in the wave. I think it looks absolutely amazing. So there's so much character in the figure. It's just brilliant.
That's Lenny showing off.
Like this, the ammo belt wrapping round to the canister on his side. And, like you say, the walkie-talkie and the extra hand, the helmet with the writing on.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. So the ammo stack goes on his belt.
Oh yeah.
And then the ammo trails around. Oh no, I didn't. Do you know what? Until you just said that, did not even spot that. Is there an image from the back? Have we got a spin around? No, we haven't got a spin around. But no, that's a very good spot. Yeah, like you said, character.
Then it looks like the canister can also stick on the side of the gun if you want it just kind of straight up. Yeah.
Right there it is. Yeah. Just as you talk there, I'm noticing new things. But this guy again, completely pinless as well. By the way, let's do a quick pin check on this guy. Let's have a little zoom. So yeah, you got the double pinless arms with the tattoos either side, and then you got the double pinless legs as well. You've got the gun in the holster, and there's the walkie-talkie on his back. I love that you could take the helmet off, because again, I didn't know that originally. They didn't show, because it's not an interchangeable head on the digital renders. They don't show you the 2 versions, but again, display options. I know it sounds stupid, but even when you can just display a character like with their helmet under their arm or something like that, it's just always a cool pose for the shelf, especially when they're static. Yeah. But yeah, so. Mark, obviously, me and Tom are gushing over this one. This one caught us off guard. What about you? Liking this?
I'm gushing over it as well.
Oh,
yeah,
very nice.
Yeah. I think my top 3 from the wave are probably Shipwreck, Torpedo, and Rock and Roll. A friend of mine, Ronnie, he said, I remember him saying when we were talking about this, that this is from his childhood, one of his sort of most anticipated characters. So I'm sure he'll be picking it up. But looks fantastic.
Jay says, rock and roll looks cool. It's dinner time now. Fish and chips. Enjoy your fish and chips, Jay. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I love that ammo stack on him as well. Just the fact that you can hold the ammo or whatever, just for action poses and whatever. And the only character design that I really remember in my head from Rock and Roll the character is the ammo stacks that go across him. That's like the main character trait that I picture. So everything else is just a bonus. But really, really liking this one. So that is the last figure in that wave that has went up for pre-order. So to recap, the wave is Bazooka in the red, Copperhead, Shipwreck, Torpedo, and Rock and Roll. Now, all of these figures are now up for pre-order. Now, as we mentioned earlier, unfortunately, in the UK, again, let me repeat, not something that any of us agree with or are behind, but all of these figures, all of G.I Joe Classified is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive in the UK. No other independent retailer is now allowed to sell G.I Joe Classified. We don't like it. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So our hands are forced. Is there someone else that have got some import stock?
Props and replicas for the same price, actually.
Okay, so
if anyone wants an alternative, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. No, of course we've spread the word. Props and replicas, very trustworthy store in the UK. Independents, always support the independents when you can. They are importing them in for the exact same price as Hasbro Pulse, so you can't be mad at that.
Comics and Cocktails haven't, but they are obviously.
To be fair,
and I'm sure In Demand had the last wave as well, so maybe they have.
We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out for sure. But I don't like the way that Pulse are trying to have a stranglehold on there. Again, I know they own the IP, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want more this to be more accessible. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. My point is, this wave is now up for pre-order, and they did try. Emily did try and explain the price points to us as well, where. Again, we always knew as collectors anyway, there's different price points for different things, etc. But she was quite transparent and told us different structures of pricing. Main line, obviously, moving forward is $24.99, which is higher than the wave initially started. If I remember correctly, that original wave was like less than 20 quid. It was like £19 something. So it has, over the years, creeped up and up and up. So this is, unfortunately, the new standard. Again, not something we like. But I do like the figures, though. And as a collector, as a grown man spending my own money, if I want to buy it, I'm going to buy it. So it is what it is at this point. But
I suppose on the plus side, we're paying $24.99, but you're still getting all the access that you used to get with it. Whereas some of the other lines you're paying $24.99, you're getting no accessories.
Absolutely, yeah. And the accessories, it makes sense. They look good. These figures are pinless. They're using the sort of... It seems like the everything we love about modern day action figures are now being utilised in this line. So I as I said, we've said for a while now, Classified are only getting better and better. California Red Devil, thank you very much in the chat, says, little late, but Shipwreck had a PSA where he stopped a kid from stealing that red bike. There you go, Tom. It might be a little Easter egg for that, though. Have to YouTube that PSA from Shipwreck. I would YouTube it now, but I don't want to get monetized or whatever. But there you go. Google Shipwreck PSA and see him stopping a kid from robbing that little red bike. So just while they're up there for pre-order, so again, Bazooka, Shipwreck, Rock and Roll, Copperhead. I've pre-ordered them all. I've gone in. I want the whole wave, everything. Tom, where do you stand? Everything, all in.
I think it might be the best wave of Classified yet.
It's hard to argue, isn't it? It is hard to argue with that statement. Mark, what about you? All in on this wave?
Same thing, all in. Yeah,
absolutely excited for this. So again, weird shipping dates. Just to anyone late coming in, for some reason, Bazooka on Hasbro Pulse UK says it's due in 2 weeks' time, March the 23rd. I doubt that will happen, but just to show you that another figure in this wave, Shipwreck, for example, isn't due until May 22nd, which is months after Bazooka. So it's clear that these waves are being shipped out as single figures rather than in a wave of 8 or a wave of 5. But again, time will tell. These are just initial pre-order dates. We know we've lived during toy collecting in the pandemic. We know these dates will never make sense. So it is what it is. But there you go. So there's that. So there's the waves. Right, so now we get to more into the deluxe things. And one of the first things they showed off, again, we only seen the digital render for this. By the way, they're all the pre-orders. That's everything that's went up for today. So get your hands on it now. So this next one, we had only seen the digital renders for, and it was literally on G.I Joe Day at the start of February. So it wasn't even long ago. So I was not expecting to see this, and not even a pre-order today. But it is Scrap Iron with his drone. So did they call the drone something official, like anti-missile drone or something like that?
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll figure that out in a second. But just skimming through these images here, we already knew we're going to get lots of effect pieces. We get an articulated drone that shoots out the cannons, shoots out the rockets. The rockets have different attachments on, so you can have them blasting out from different lengths. Also, Scrap Iron's helmet comes off, which sort of shows a half scarred up, burnt face. Let me get the actual promo images, because again, this is another one that I knew I'd want, I knew I liked, but seeing the actual product made me like it even more so. So here's the actual images here. This is looking very, very... This shot here might be how I pose him. Maybe with the rockets blasting out. I don't know, but let me zoom in a minute on this. Just show off that head sculpt. So he's got like a burnt sort of face. Oh shit. Burnt face there. He's even got the whited out eye, like the blue eye, like he's blinded himself. Shout out Cloud says, Scrap Iron got a pre-order today too. I got mine in. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I do think this one has display potential. Like it's a display piece. When this got revealed, I said I'd want maybe 2 of these for a bit of symmetry, maybe with the Hiss tank, or they flanking the Hiss tank. And after seeing them revealed today, it only sort of makes me want to do that. But here's Scrap Iron. He has so the helmet comes off. He has his controls as well for his drone, and yeah, all the blast effects, everything like that. Mark, what do we think of Scrap Iron now we have seen it in hand?
Excellent. Really, really good. I didn't know what was actually going to go up for pre-order from those initial sort of vehicles, should we say, or they called it a character and a pet. So I guess they called the robot the pet.
The drone is the pet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the effects. So many small details make this, doesn't it? The scarred face, the effects, the fact that you can plug one of the rocket launcher effects into bazooka, which obviously I know we're probably going to talk about, but just that little touch in itself is great. They're making things, interchangeable with each other in the line. But yeah, fantastic. And very, I must say, very reasonable price point, because I think when we were talking in the last stream, we probably, between the three of us, we thought it'd be more than that. So
yeah, so the official price is for the US is $44.99 in dollars. And in the UK, if we jump to Pulse real quick, you can see it is up for pre-order now at the same price, $44.99, which is good to see, because usually we have like some weird UK price increase, which makes no sense. So yes, it obviously is a little bit pricier, but I'm not mad about that price. Tom, what do you think of the actual product now? We've seen it in hand and all of that, and price and all of everything. What do you think of Scrap Iron?
Another massive hit again, I think. I feel like I'm being a real G.I Joe shield today.
You shield!
Everything's bloody amazing. So, even the explosions look great. Like, and if you've got when you've got the missiles on those blasts coming out of it, it's just going to look so good on the shelf. Just.
Tom's even supplying the sound effects. Cliff is that sound effect if anyone needs it, people. No, as I said, it's a display piece, isn't it? Like, I love when you can dynamically display figures like that. It makes the shelf come to life. It makes it more interesting to look at. And when it comes to the bad guys, let's be honest, we've got a lot of army builders. There's a lot of Congo lines on Mark's shelves. This adds a little bit of life to it. Like the shelf is coming alive. These missiles are going to poke someone in the eye staring at this shelf. Lenny did admit that the effects are a little bit anime because he's got like the swirls on it. And I see what he means. It's not like it has a little bit of it's a stylized explosion, if you will, but it still has the smoke attached, and I'm not mad at it. Let me go to Craig's comment real quick. Craig says, wow, guys, Scrap Iron, rock and roll, highlights of the wave, love the new pricing system. Can we see value for our money? Where's Big Ben? Yes, we did not see Big Ben today, which I was hoping to see. Yeah, but hopefully very soon. But yes, value is an important word. Like, on this channel, we obviously talk about Legends a lot, and value is definitely something we are not seeing with Legends currently. Like, as I said, I'm even putting my hands up with that. But with Joe's, as I said, I'm liking what we see here, and I feel comfortable at this price range for what it is. How do you feel on the price for Scrap Iron here, Tom?
Well, it's only £10 more than a PS5 Spider-Man, so you're getting all those explosions, a tank, and a load of other accessories.
Yeah,
so.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think anything compared to that PS4 Spider-Man is going to look good, to be fair. But no, okay. Except like the tank, the effect pieces, the figure itself is better than I expected. I forgot that helmet didn't. I forgot that the helmet came off, so I just thought. Scrap-eyeing, I know he's a unique character, of course, but I thought if I brought a couple of these, I could just have a couple of like drone operators as such. Do you know what I mean? But now after
you could have him with his helmet off and another one.
Exactly, that's my point. Is that now with how good he looks without that helmet off, it would seem a shame to hide that really cool feature behind a helmet. So like, I need to display him with that helmet off and showing his gory scar. So yeah, I still think I want 2 of these. Like I may play the long game. But I've went in for a pre-order now. But yeah, I still think these, for a bit of symmetry on a shelf or something, 2 of these, one with the rocket shooting out. And I was trying to find the picture of because Lenny did show it off with Bazooka. Because Tom, you already showed, I swear you showed off in a...
I'm going to get it.
Yeah, because Tom already figured out a way to display Bazooka shooting his rocket from a Mezco effect. I think Tom will tell us.
Yeah, it's a Mezco effect from Harley Quinn, I think.
Yeah.
So, where is it?
Yeah. So to be honest, I still think that looks better. Maybe.
It does look better.
Yeah.
That looks okay.
The effect they had, didn't it? Sorry, Tom. Yeah.
Do you think the effect that he plugged in into the bazooka looked a bit too thick and heavy? Whereas, I mean, if you can pick up one of those on the aftermarket, then
that looks epic. That looks like it was made for that bazooka. Like that looks really, really good. I do appreciate that sort of. I don't know what that sort of the way that you can use it for bazooka if you wanted to. Like they thought about it. Yeah, they thought about it. Doesn't look as good as I'd want with bazooka, but it is still a fun element. But again, the one Tom's showing off there. That looks really, really good. That one looks like it was officially made for it, but it's still just something fun that they added. And again, you don't have to use it that way. But the blast effects do have 2 pieces, if I remember correctly, 2 different sizes. Yeah, there you go. So that's everything you get with the figure. The 2 different size blasts and blah blah blah. So yeah, really, really good. Really, really liking that. So again, $44.99. That's the price. That's up for pre-order right now, the same as the Wave. Okay.
If I had to guess. My bet would be that some future ValaFair weapons pack Bobby will do a bazooka with an effect similar to that.
I wouldn't put it past Bobby.
I would suspect that will happen.
I would not put it past him. And that's not a bad thing either, by the way. I do enjoy the ValaFair weapons packs. Okay, next up. Now, before we go into this one, I just want to say this one is meant to be up for pre-order today, and it might be in the US, but talking from a UK perspective here, this is not up for pre-order in the UK yet. We don't know why. I will reach out to Emily and ask the question. I think Phil Jones, aka Hill Phones, already has. So we will report back if anything changes. But keep an eye on Pulse and any of the places that are importing stock. But I'll give it a refresh here while we're live. But so far, Snow Job, not available. And also, the female troopers have sold out. Live update here. The female troopers have sold out.
I didn't order any of those.
Did you not? Oh, no. That's what's scary about G.I Joe being a Pulse-only exclusive. It's like, I walk the dog and come back at 6:30 and panicked thinking, shit, is something going to be sold out? Luckily, I got an order in. But yeah, that shows you the quantity levels that they have for these initial pre-orders clearly are not enough to meet demand, especially for an Army Builder 2-pack. But again, we will get to that in a minute. My point was showing
It'll turn back up.
Yeah, it will. We'll talk about that in a second. But my point was here originally is that Snow Job is not up for pre-order yet, and we don't know why. But we can still talk about the figure. Again, another one that we've seen on G.I Joe Day. So we only seen the digital renders at the start of February. And here he is up for pre-order already. Let's go through some of these initial pictures here. Is that a little Easter egg in the background? We'll loop back round to talk about that. So here's some pictures. They made a point to say that all of his equipment can plug on his back. So no matter which way round you, whether he's got his ski boots on or his snowshoes or whatever, any which way, all of his equipment can attach onto his backpack, which again, another element of Joe's we like. We've already said that. Comes with loads of stuff, which again is why he's a slightly higher price point. This figure's being classified, pun intended, as a deluxe. So mainline is $24.99. This is a deluxe, so it's a mainline sort of character with more accessories. So this is an extra £10 essentially. This is $34.99. Now, if I was given that option to like have this character but with only his weapons and his extra head, and someone said to me, how about an extra tenner and you can have all his equipment, I'd probably say yes please. Do you know? So not mad about it. I'd rather have that option than not have them. And yeah, the promo images here look really, really good. Mark, we'll go to you first. What do you think of Snowjob?
Well, I'm going to say what I like, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rant.
Who doesn't like Snowjob? Yeah.
Yeah. I think he looks great. I think he looks sort of really good. I like the goggles in particular. One of the things I quite like are the sort of almost Oakley style, goggles.
Oh, the colour sort of way.
With
on
the colour change. Yeah, I really like that. Like you say, Dan, one of those pictures is quite interesting. I was actually more intrigued by what could be Arctic bats, in that picture, which no doubt we might get along the line. My only gripe is this. I feel by making it a Pulse exclusive, let's say for our pals in the US, it's a bit like Target exclusive by another name. It's kind of like it's a main character. I think they were going along the right tracks with exclusives being repaints, say Python Patrol, Tiger Force, even the two female Cobra soldiers in a sense, because we haven't had female Cobra soldiers, but it's not a particularly mainline character. Bit disappointed, if I'm honest, that Snow. I know for all us in the UK, apart from say props and replicas and maybe Star action figures, possibly, it's going to be via Pulse. But I would have liked him to be a repaint as a Pulse exclusive. But yeah, it looks fantastic.
Just looking in the chat real quick, some of our friends in the US are reporting that this guy is up for pre-order in the US. Again, it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive in the US, and again by default in the UK, but it is not up on the UK, and we don't know why. That is that little Easter egg Mark's referring to, is here on this image. If you zoom into the background, is that some sort of snow or Arctic bat? Like, I'm not mad about it. Like I told you, I love the bats, and I will buy the rainbow bats. I will buy one in every color, please. Yeah. Maybe it's just a Photoshop for the sake of an image. Who knows? But we spotted it, is all we're saying. And they've caught Snowjob as well, by the way. He's caught there with his hands up. But Tom, Snowjob, all the accessories. It's a deluxe format. What do you think about all of this?
Yeah, another epic character with an epic figure, I think. Just all out and out amazing, and the full loadout's just brilliant.
How much has Hasbro paid you today, Tom? Right? Have they slipped something in the
table
for you?
Being really positive.
No, this is great. I like it. We can
talk about Super 7 in a minute.
You're allowed to like toys online, people. It's absolutely fine. They do look great. I agree.
There's a lot of my favourite characters in these reveals today. So yeah, I just want to order it. That's why I didn't order the female. One of the reasons I didn't order the female troopers was because I thought, well, I'll leave that until Snowjob's up, and then I can get free postage on that.
Yeah. I think I bit the bullet on. I should have pre-ordered the who was it? Ironhead, Scrap Iron. I pre-ordered him and paid the shipping just because I knew I needed to get it in. So I was like, just get it in. Can't worry about that £4 later.
Yeah.
But anyway, here we go. So here he is up for pre-order. Again, he is a $34.99, but not up in the UK yet. For some reason, not on UK Pulse. We don't know why. We will report back when we know. But what is up on UK Pulse is the female trooper pack. Again, this was revealed, I think, at MCM. I think I was there at MCM when it was revealed. They showed us all the accessories. Basically the same colour, blue, as the infantry troopers from Cobra already, which I love. So they're going to go straight in there. This is some females now to Mark's conga line sausage party that he's had for so long. They've got the tan, one in tan and one in the black, which I would have preferred like tan accessories to make one an officer, because if I multi-pack this now, we're going to have just as many officers control it like with the regulars. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do we really need all these officers? But anyway, that's just me being an idiot. But let's go to the promo images of these real quick, and then we'll talk about it being sold out on Pulse already. So female troopers, long bit awaited. We've been asked for this. All new sculpt, and it is all pinless as well. Double jointed articulation for the females, as it should be, especially for weapon wielding characters. Lots of gun weapons, accessories, blast effects. These are looking really, really nice. Again, my only gripe, my only type of little nitpick would be, I would have loved to have 2 generic troopers as the army builder with the option of accessories to turn one into an officer, because I prefer the black and blue rather than the black and tan. But that's just me. Tom, what do you think of these troopers now you've missed out on the pre-order? Hate them, right?
Exactly the same, to be honest, as what you were saying. That was the other reason I left it, was because I was like, I don't like the tan. It looks like she's gone into a military surplus store and run out of black.
Yeah, the black left.
Sorry, I've only got this. Have that.
I've got some tan at the back. Will that do? Oh, and I've got a mission in 5 minutes. That would have to do. Yeah.
It turns out to the rest of the squad, and they're just like, what?
You stand at the fucking front, love. You're gonna get us killed. Yeah, I completely agree. It's very. I don't mind one if it's for the sake of an officer. I don't mind one, but if you're army building these, you're gonna have too many officers with this pack. But in regards to the accessories here, we get lots of weapons, the effect pieces, which I haven't got the Cobra free the Cobra Viper free pack. Yeah. So what are those accessories like, Tom? Mark, sorry, in because they look a little bit.
They look really similar.
Yeah, they look a little bit cartoony though, if you know what I mean. How do they look in
hand
they do.
In person? They have got that kind of sort of cartoon effect effect with them. I do quite like the accessories that come, but just looking at some of the accessories here, I'd say they're pretty similar, almost identical. I think they might even be the same ones.
Probably are. In regards to the female troopers, though, Mark, we know you are the army building king. Anyone who's been following this channel for any amount of time may know Mark Tatzak's famous for some certain things. Army building is definitely one of them. Even Bobby Valor knows. But here we have some female troopers, Mark. So go on, be honest. How many of these do you want?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think you made a good point. I didn't think about, Dan, that you're going to have an officer to every trooper, which is a bit ridiculous. You know, the orders will be all over the place.
These women clearly do not misbehave. Behave very well, even. They clearly misbehave, and they just need an officer for. Yeah. It's like one-on-one tutoring at this point. It's like, for every officer, we need another. It doesn't make sense in my head canon.
I think that, to be honest with you, thinking about that, that's probably a little bit off-putting about actually picking it up. It would be nice if you had the option to swap the parts out, so you could have 2 troopers and then 1 officer every so often. But yeah, it is a bit. I suppose you could have female officers to your male for equality.
Just get the females in there, just keeping the lads in check. I guess you could do that, justify it that way. Embered Wings, aka Ravana, in the chat says tan guns are just dumb. I completely agree. Why? I understand that the gear is tan. You're an officer. You have some different gear to stand out. But why is your gun also tan as well? I don't get why they did that. That seems unnecessary for me. But yeah, I do
like. Do officers have different colour gear, though? Or do they just have a different rank insignia?
They just have a rank or different. Even a helmet would have done. Even the helmet, or what do they call it? Where they have the captain's armband. It's not the captain's armband, but you know what I mean. We got it with some of the Cobra.
Yeah, they used to have we got the red armband.
Is it a podron or something? I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, you don't need completely different colour gear. But bloody women in it trying to fashion-wise everything. Only joking. That was a joke, everybody. That was only a joke. It was only a joke. Cheap joke. Yeah, a different helmet would have done for me, but I completely agree. The tan guns are unnecessary. But overall, though, I do love the fact that we are getting female troopers that are going to fit in with our infantry, with the same blues, some females into the line. Brand new body mold, articulation looks on point, interchangeable head options as well with the mask head there. So definitely 100% army building potential. It's just the tan is just a little bit annoying, but again, that's just our pet peeve. You'd have to agree. Cloud, she's in the chat going, "How dare you?" Yeah, I knew that was a cheap joke. I knew I was going to get beaten up for that one. Cancelled. Dan W's cancelled. Jokes on girls, Joes+Juice. Dang, on Women's Day no less, says the fossil. Oh shit, is it? Fuck. My bad. I'll shut up now. Anyway, people must love this pack because, as we just said, it is sold out on Porsche UK. If anyone in the US wants to give us a little update, is this still in stock in the US? I can imagine that the US minimum quantity before it hits the pre-order is going to be a lot higher anyway than the UK. But like Tom alluded to earlier, I think Hasbro Pulse UK cap it at a certain thing, but that doesn't mean that's all they're getting. It's just they just sort of want to, I don't know, create that supply and demand, that sort of buzz, that FOMO.
It's to make me go and order it the moment it gets back in stock.
Yeah, exactly. It's that FOMO. It's just marketing 101, isn't it? So there will be another opportunity to get this, but currently, right now, it is sold out on Pulse. But this one is a little bit pricier than the other stuff we've been talking about. So we've seen Snow Job. The regular line were $24.99. The deluxe Snow Job and characters like that are going to come with more accessories is going to be $34.99. The figure and the pet, or the figure and drone on this occasion, is going to be $44.99, and then another £10. So again, you're just adding $10 a time here. Another £10 for the 2-packs. So this is where this lands at $55.99. I would like it to be cheaper. Absolutely, I would. But again, it is what it is at this point.
Just a slight moan. It's like, why? If I buy 2 figures in 2 boxes, it's $50.
Yeah.
And if you buy 2 figures in 1 box, it's $5 more.
I think they're justifying with the extra accessories because they made a point to keep going, and loads of accessories, and loads of accessories. So I think that's why. I think so. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just trying to find their logic. That's all. But I do agree with you. I'm just looking at the chat. Phil Hill phones on the front line for us, reporting from the front line. It says, give this a refresh again because we may have some more sold out figures, which I knew would happen.
I was going to say Snow Job was
yeah, so did I.
So he said he's saying that Shipwreck is sold out. So we have our second sold out figure of the wave, which I'm not surprised. As we said, it's the most sort of classic looking old school Joe that is he's a fan favorite, isn't he? So not surprised there that Shipwreck sold out. So far Shipwreck and again, like we just said, Shipwreck will be available again. Don't panic, people. He'll be back. It's just always fun to see what's popular amongst the community. That's all that this is sort of showing us right now. And they're an army builder. So, like, what was the minimum order on these? Let's have a look.
Must be 3, I imagine. Would it be? Or...
Yeah, 3. So, again, people could have just been ordering 3 at a time. And because the thing is with Pulse, you can pre-order and then, like, cancel at a later date and it not cost you a penny. So, people put FOMO orders in and stuff like that. So, again, don't worry. These figures will be available again. And, again, hopefully some of the independent retailers pick them up as well. So, there you go. So, again, lots of reveals today. So we had name only reveals with I think I've closed the images now, but we had Quick Kick, Big Boa, and then Mutt and Junkyard. We had the digital renders as well, which are the 4 digital renders that are here. Then we had the pre-orders that I've got up that we've just went through, and then we had the 3 sort of deluxe bigger items, 1 at each price point. Deluxe Snow Job, the figurine and item or pet drone, which is Scrap Iron and the drone, and then the 2-pack, which is a female army builder. So all of that, 8 items went up for pre-order today. So we've already asked these guys what they pre-ordered out of the wave, and all 3 of us, it was a full house. We're all in on the wave. Where are we standing on these 3 packs now, on these other packs? Now, we know Tom hasn't ordered the female 2-pack yet, but what about the other 2, Tom? Have you went in for them?
Yeah, I've ordered. The one's not available, but I ordered. That's
true.
One.
That's true. Yeah, my bad. As we've just been saying,
I will order both the other 2 though.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Whenever Snow Job pops up, I've got the drone ordered, but I haven't, and I will order Snow Job. That was a long way of saying not very much.
Mark, what about you?
Scrap Iron, yes. The 2 ladies, no. I've missed out on those. I'll probably give Snow Job a miss, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Fine. No right or wrong
because
answer.
He's an exclusive, Mark.
Yes. That is my yes, that's the reason in a nutshell, yeah.
The Fossil says it sounds like Dan W is saying shipwreck. Shitwreck. Yeah, shitwreck. No, my bad. I've got such a common accent, I suppose. My bad. Okay, great figures though overall, gentlemen, right? Like in regards to today, what went up for pre-order, figures they showed off. Overall, we're pretty pleased with how Classified is looking early 2023, right, Tom?
Yeah, definitely.
And Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Dan.
Do we have a favourite from the whole day? From all out of everything that's shown today, like a particular highlight, Tom?
I think
It's hard to
gonna say rock and roll.
Yeah, because you like being surprised, don't you? Like it's just
yeah.
Because there's certain things you knew you were going to like. You knew you were going to like Shipwreck. But when something catches you off guard like that, it's a nice pleasant surprise. So, yeah, I get it. Mark, what about you? Any highlight?
Well, I've got a joint too, almost, Dan. I mean, for nostalgia reasons, Shipwreck, but one that was not nostalgic, but is actually my favourite, is Torpedo.
Yeah. Looking great. Again, I like everything. I'm the same. It's hard to pick a favourite. I think Torpedo may be it, just for the complete difference of him compared to the Joes. But I told you, I'm getting an aquarium. It's going to happen. It's going to be him and a goldfish just in a little tank next to my Joes. The poll is still live in the chat as well, people. Over 90 votes as well. So if you have not voted yet in the live chat, please do. It literally asks what your favourite pipeline reveal is. I leave it on until the end of the stream. But it is Tunnel Rat, New Firefly, Low Light or Shadow Tracker. So far in the lead with 30% is the New Firefly with 91 votes. California Red Devil, the super chat.
California Red Devil donated $4.99. Where's Retro Duke? Also, all these Joes would get Donatello'd by Warpath Eclipse.
Thank you very much, California Red Devil. I won't mention anything about the 7-0. Don't worry, I'm a nice guy, but oof, that must have hurt. That's why we weren't around for a few days, weren't it? He says, where's Retro Duke? Also, all these Joes would get Donatello'd by Warpath Eclipse. We are going to get to the for the Action Force stuff, don't you worry. But yes, Retro Duke is a character. Duke is a character I was surprised not to see on the Retro line, and Scarlet. Both of them in their sort of more classic looks without the sort of classification, if you will, especially because they're Wave 1 figures that had more of the golds and the GoPros, etc. Like, let's get a classic Scarlet in a sort of one piece and a classic Duke. Absolutely. I agree. Retros would be great if retros continue, but again, plastic on packaging's murky waters with Hasbro. But I do agree. We do agree on something, California Red Devil, who's probably gone in hiding now. I reminded him about the 7-0. Okay, let's get into the Action Force reveals. So some great stuff from Joe's. But as we said, last weekend was Action Force reveals because it was Bobby called it ValaFair? ValaFair. Yeah, so ValaFair, ValaFest. There was 3 days worth of live streams, reveals, etc. So I've basically been following along via the Facebook groups, via Instagram and stuff like that. So I have been dabbling in the news, but Mark has definitely been helping me keep track. So thank you very much to Mark. So Mark's going to sort of take the lead on this, and me and Tom can sort of just give our opinion. So let me get the graphics up and ready. But while I'm doing that, Mark, do you want to just give your overall impressions of what? Yeah, was it a good sort of good stuff, Dan, reveals and stuff?
Tom, I'll tell you, Dan, Tom, everyone in the chat. For me personally, ValaFair was actually more exciting than today's reveals. Out of the two things, I actually found ValaFair the more exciting. I was looking forward to both, but ValaFair turned out to be more exciting, and there were a lot of surprises, a lot of surprises, things we're going to talk about. There was a show stealer. I think everyone was probably expecting the vehicle to be probably the most sort of show-stopping thing. It wasn't. There was a reveal on the last day. Bobby was excited for when he was talking about it. They revealed it dead last on the Sunday, and it was an army builder as well. So there's that, and it was just everyone was nuts about it. But without further ado, we'll get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go through the Mark sort of set this out for us so we can. It's easy to follow along. So if you haven't seen any of the Action Force news yet, this is going to be a good recap for you because we're going to recap all 3 days of ValaFest. So I don't have every single image. Mark did send me quite a lot, and I've picked a few to show off so you can see what we're talking about. So Mark can keep me on track with this here. But we're going to start off with a day 1 reveal, a new female character with Gemini, right?
That's right, Dan. Yeah. So she was actually probably one of the first full characters to be revealed on day 1. That was Friday. Gemini, obviously because of the success Bobby's had, as he's mentioned on his own streams, and I think 3PO as well, the success of the female waves previously, I think they've been probably the most successful waves for Action Force. He said they've sold better than some of the other waves combined. So with that in mind, obviously, he's keeping that tradition going, I guess, with Gemini. What he did say was this was initially going to be a UFC fighter. So this body mold was going to initially be a UFC fighter. There was a clause in that contract with the female UFC fighter that she couldn't have her likeness, that came about sort of as they were, as they were kind of making the figure. She couldn't have her likeness reproduced on a merchandise. So he had to come up with a character, his own character in relation to that, and that's what gave birth to Gemini.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not a UFC guy.
Daniel Kelly.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, because it is the one he sponsors, right? I can assume that is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he does still sponsor her because I see him posting pictures and stuff or whatnot. But I'm not a UFC guy, so I don't have a clue. I think I do have another picture here that Mark sent. I'm just grabbing it real quick of the actual breakdown. I'm just going to save it real quick and drag it on screen because Cloud pointed out the head sculpt, and I think it's just the facial expression that is putting people off a little bit. So there you go. So that's the loadout. What you get, of course, with Action Force, you always get the stand, the weapons, the gears, the hands. Can never fault them on that. But I can't zoom in as much as that. But the face, I guess people. To be fair, I don't mind the hairstyle there with the tight braids, but I do think the face is sort of maybe dividing opinion. I have seen online some people liking it and some people going eesh. So again, bit of love and hate.
Mark, you told me that it had an old head. Is that correct or incorrect?
I think this one, Tom. Does this one have an alternate head? It might do. I don't know if it's in the picture there with all the accessories. Is there?
No, there isn't one. No.
Ah, there isn't. No. Maybe not then, Tom. Maybe not on this one. But I think there's probably only that expression by the looks of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Something's not quite right about it. Don't get me wrong. I want to like it, but I like the hairstyle. I like the figure. Just the facial expression. I don't know. A little bit. I don't know. So she's got something in her cheeks as she's pulling that expression. But anyway, that aside, do you like what you see here, Tom?
I like it. Yeah, I do. I like the female bodies are great, so it does look good. I was the only thing when Mark sent me all the, because I've been busy all weekend, so I watched the final stream of the weekend, which kind of recapped everything. But Mark was kind of sending me updates every day, and that was the only thing I said from that day's review. Is I don't know about that head. I don't know about that head sculpt. It was throwing me off a bit. I think if she had a neutral face, then I'd be all right with it, because it's just having if you've got everyone else on the shelf standing there in a neutral position, and then one of them pulling like an aggressive, gritted teeth. It looks like she's got like dental problems or something.
To be fair, the one thing I would say about Bobby is that he's very embedded in the community. So I have no doubts if there are dividing opinions on this head sculpt. He's listening. He may put an alternate head in, he may tweak it, change it, whatever. I don't know. I like the character with a bit of expression. Don't get me wrong. It's just something. And looking at the chat ain't feeling it either. So clearly, this isn't just us. This is something's not quite right. So I'm sure Bobby's listening, and maybe something will get tweaked. But I've
still got that toilet prop left over from my Modoc shop.
She could sit on it, yeah.
So she could sit on it.
Yeah, California Red Devil says she's dropping. So it looks like she's dropping a deuce, which is again, we are joking, people.
We love Action Force.
We're allowed to joke, right? We don't want any 30-minute videos made on us, people. All right, we're just joking. It's a bit we like the product here. We like what we see. We're just saying, criticism's fair game.
I have a whole shelf of Action Force.
Right, there's a 30-minute video coming. Tom's a shill. This episode, he loves everything Hasbro. Yeah, ValaFair. First thing of ValaFair, Sony hates it. Yeah, no, we're only joking. Only joking, people. We're only joking. Okay, let's get. So, basically, what I'll do, Tom, is Mark. Sorry, I'll go through some of the images, and you can sort of talk about them. So, day one, we got her, but we also got sort of packs for all the females. So each female gets an additional gear pack, right? And that's where each female does get their own alternative face, more weapons, different vest, etc.
Yeah, that's right. So Dan, like you said there, and what you've just shown, particularly, all the females from Wave 3 had different expressions. And alternate packs, and Pandora that was shown there comes with a weapons pack, and there's a 1 in 3 variant where you'll get a bloody head sculpt. So whoever purchased them won't know if they're getting the bloody head sculpt or not. It'll just be at random. But so if you've picked up the bloody Pandora from Valaverse.com and you need the alternate head sculpt where she's sort of licking the blood off her face from exactly from who she's taken down. You might get it, you might not.
Maybe it's her own blood. Maybe it's her own blood.
Yeah.
Someone shot her and she's just looking at them going, really? That what you got?
Funny enough, Dan, when the inspiration, Bobby said, for this came from, I think, a real person, a UFC fighter. He said that when they used to fight and finish the fight and their gloves were covered in blood, they used to lick their own gloves.
Yeah. It sort of reminds me of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch got her nose broke in WWE by Nia Jax on an episode, and her face was like just covered in red, and she was sort of like licking her lips type thing, and that was the start of like Becky Lynch the man, and like the crowd got behind her and everything. And maybe it's the orange hair that's pointing me and making me think of that, but that's where my brain goes. But so as Mark was saying, each of the females, Killswitch, Eclipse, Pandora, come with a gear pack, and in Pandora's gear pack it's a 1 in 3 chance to get the bloody variant, which is pretty good odds, to be fair. That's pretty good odds. Also on day 1, revealed the next 3 weapons packs, so of course they're following the alphabet, so you've got is that Echo, Foxtrot and Golf. So these 3 are coming, and now new weapons as well. So even though Tom has a box full of weapons, he might have to buy some of these because there's weapons he hasn't.
Yeah, I'm more excited about these than the figures.
Yeah, these weapons, some new bigger weaponry. Hang on, we'll go to that one in a minute. But that one's Golf. Where are they here? This one is Echo, and then we have Fox as well, or Foxtrot, sorry. There you go. So yeah, we're getting bigger weapons now, different muzzle effect pieces, different colorways of weapons we've seen before. Dan,
what you mentioned with the muzzle effect pieces, Tom will like this. Bobby mentioned that if you see that one just by the name Foxtrot there, which I think is for not Eclipse, not Pandora, the other lady, Killswitch, yes. He said he took inspiration from Mezco. In fact, the actual guns as well. They've got the pullback action of. He took inspiration from the Mezco 112 guns that had that sort of effect as well. But he said that a lot of Mezco guns where the bullet is firing out, like Punisher, for example, it's gone to where you can see the bullet. He took inspiration in creating that Foxtrot, or the effect just above Foxtrot. The bullet blasting out the gun.
Yeah, looks good. Bigger weaponry.
These are like the slides are static, aren't they?
Yes, I think they are.
Because the Mezco ones, the slide actually moves back and forth.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, I actually think Mezco. I actually think ValaFair weapons are better than the Mezco weapons. I mean, it's a close run thing, but I do prefer the ValaFair weapons over any other weapon that you can get with an action figure. I think they do the best weapons by a long way. Mezco's close, but I do think ValaFair do the best weapons.
I like the trail of bullets coming out of the railgun there as they like sort of disappear coming out of the gun.
That's a note actually. Well, 2 things with that, Dan. There is a character we're going to show who's sort of been designed with holding that weapon in mind. The shotguns in all 3 of the weapons packs. Bobby made a point of mentioning that the shells have been molded separately so that if you were to be able to look at the shells in 360-degree motion, you can see the shell is fully there. With some other weapons on 112 scale weaponry, it's only molded. So when you look at it from the front, you get the effect of the bullets. But with this, it's actually all the way around.
Greg is saying in the chat as well, thank you, Greg, that the shotgun shells on the side are not glued, so you can swap them between the different colorings as well, which is cool. So modification. Again, I think Bobby encourages that amongst the line with customization and stuff like that. And again, weapons like, I know Tom's got the tin of weapons, which I'm very tempted to pick up, but I've got all of the single crates so far of weapons, and I think I will continue to get all the crates for the unique weapons, and especially now we're getting the bigger weapons as well. I really like that. Again, I love the muzzle flashes. It's something that it took a while for us to get, but ValaFair has been doing it from the get-go, and it brings the shelf to life. I do appreciate that.
That's a point, Dan. Go on,
Smoke, Tom. Smoke, go on, Tom.
Well, I was going to say that's the point where you mentioned about picking stuff up. Remind me when we get to day 2 to talk about Toys R Us, because if there's anyone in the chat who is interested in knowing about Toys R Us, Bobby did address it.
Okay.
So we'll talk.
The last reveal on day 1 was, I think over here. Yeah. So this is the Joe Fest exclusive, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this is Cry Eclipse.
Yep.
So this is only going to be available in person at Joe Fest. Is that what you're
only going to
saying?
be available? Well, it's a bit like some of the other Joe Fest exclusives in that it will be available initially at Joe Fest. If there's any left over, there probably won't be any left over. But if there's any left over, they'll go up on the website afterwards. What Bobby did say was an inspiration for making this design. I think it was a Russian artist. He said he found on. I think Instagram, maybe it's a Russian artist, but he mentioned a couple of artists. There's another reveal coming up later on the final day where he talks about working with an artist, but he said, he'd worked quite closely with an artist. I think it was in Russia, but for me, this was the reveal of day one.
She looks great. Do you like the look of this, Tom?
I think it looks amazing. Just annoyed I won't be able to get it.
I was about to say, are you going to get a plane ticket and go to Joe Fest and pick it up? Will you get me one while you're there? That'd be great. Korea. So that looks great. I'm just trying to find the images. I haven't got the images, but I do have the notes here from Mark. Is that the female also have the gear packs now as well? So you get the female desert and riot trooper packs.
Yes, that's right. There were two female troopers shown. So that was the Desert Republican Guard in female, which is it's essentially Desert Rat. If you think Tony Analog Toys, Desert Rat's character, like female. Figures for him to command with weapons, sort of gear packs. Sorry, there's a Delta gear pack, so the Green Trooper, the female Green Trooper from Wave 3, Special Ops, and Republican Guard, and there'll be a female Riot Trooper coming as well.
I thought I had the images up, but I must have lost them. That's my bad. All good. Again, everything that we're talking about, I'm sure, has been shared throughout the community the last couple of days anyway. So, again, we're just having a little recap here. Okay, so we're getting into day 2 reveals now. So I have a lot of pictures of alternative face sculpts. So I don't want to go through them all because it will take forever. But it does seem like most of the main characters. Let me read the list here. Condor, Trigger. I've got angry facial expressions, like so.
Yeah, that's right.
And then also revealed during this were new characters, Atlas, Buddha, and Sidewinder, I believe. Yeah. And we met, and on day 3 they revealed the body. So we'll come back and look at them.
Bodies,
So lots of head sculpts were revealed. But more interestingly, I think, was some sort of desert welfare troopers. So these are the army builders that can go with your desert rat to command,
exactly
I guess.
That. Yeah, that's right.
And they come with a gear pack too.
They come with gear pack too.
Yeah, there's the gear pack for that. So they're just we've got multiple options now for army builders for different themes, different colorways, etc. So now we've got one for the desert. I'm sure Tony's very happy about that. We also get an alternative version of Condor. Now
so this version is actually based on a pre-Action Force. So this is Condor before he joined Action Force. So in essence, it's Condor when he worked with Desert Rat in the military, in the regular military, should we say?
So this can go along in theme with those troopers we just shown and stuff. Yeah,
that's right.
So they're ready for the desert battle, essentially. They're ready for a fight in the desert. Tom, in regards to everything we just talked about there, is it something you're after? And if you'd want any alternative heads for the guys, you've got the army builders.
I like the alternative heads. It just depends how they're coming. If it's like a gear pack, then that's cool because I can always find use for the spare vests on customs and stuff, and the weapons are just go in the tin.
Well, he showed this angry Condor head, and then obviously the same day he showed this.
Yeah, so I think Condor comes with the figure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the angry trigger head is more appealing.
It's possible we may get another trigger.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking alternative rather than heads being thrown in accessory packs, because he wants people to multiple buy the weapons packs and stuff. So you don't want to end up with 10 trigger heads. So I do think maybe the reveal of that trigger head is going to be a different trigger, because that is a popular.
You didn't talk about a head pack, I'm sure, on the third day, but it was unclear what that related to.
Maybe a head pack of all the main characters would make sense, because then everyone who's invested in the line could get them. But the last reveal from day 2 from the Free Play podcast was something that they teased for a while. Is a ghillie suit.
Yep.
There's the pictures.
And they made a point to mention it's a soft goods ghillie suit. They sort of mentioned that this hadn't really been done in soft goods in 1/12 scale. I mean, I think it looks nice. I think it looks like a nice alternative to the gear pack for the Delta Trooper. So for me, Delta Trooper does look a bit naked without his like weapon, his gear packs. But when lying in poses and things, I think this ghillie suit's a nice alternative.
Yeah, and also that's a good point. Like if you've got a Doubter Trooper without a gear pack, get him a ghillie suit ready to go. It seems like they're all attached by like little bands and different parts of it to keep it on his body. I like the concept, I do, and I appreciate him trying something different. But I just think it will really benefit from a diorama or something like that. Do you know, like in action type thing. What do you think of this, Tom? You like stuff like this?
Because he teased this a while ago in 3POA, and I was kind of hoping that it would be like a full-on like
suit.
Yeah. So you could like pull it over his head like it would be like a long sleeve t-shirt with the stuff all over it, and then a pair of trousers with it on, and then maybe like something that went over the helmet, so it kind of all worked as well. My only worry is it looks a bit like it's wrapped around him, and I'm not keen on the elastic bands going around the legs.
Yeah, I guess standing up like that, you'd be able to point out those sort of elements. But on the floor like that, it fits its purpose.
On the floor, it looks great.
Yeah, on the floor, it fits its purpose, which is the way I think you're going to have to... I think it's the way it's intended to be displayed as well. I think maybe these images here are just trying to show you how it works on the figure. But I do like that he's trying something different here. Like Mark said, it's not been done in the 1/12 scale. And it is something that is used, like it is a piece, like it's like a tool that they use for this type of stuff. I swear I follow a guy who does airsoft and stuff like that, and he has a really popular YouTube page because he's like a ghillie suit and no one can ever see him, and he's just taking people out. But I'm sure it's used in more serious context as well, of course. But there you go.
You can get a ghillie suit for about 50 quid on Amazon. On that.
There you go. Next Joes+Juice, I'll just be here camouflaged in just a big tree. But he says it's Oscar the Grouch, says California Red Devil. It's definitely it's going to be one of those people that some people love it, some people don't like it, and it's just, again, each to their own. No right or wrong answer. You can like it or dislike it, but I do appreciate them trying something a little bit different. So that was the highlight of day 2, and then day 3 we had some more reveals. So let me get the some images for that. So I think day 3 was. I'm going to take a guess and saying your favourite day here, Mark, in regards to reveals.
Yeah, I was actually, to be honest, Dan, I was sort of impressed with day 2 until day 3 came along.
There you go. Got better and better each time. Okay, so let's start off here then with this. This may be one of my favourite reveals out of everything that I've seen. So who's this then, Mark? Where did we see this?
So this is Colonel Siege, who is the leader of Action Force. So you've got Condor, who leads Action Force in the field. Colonel Siege leads Action Force from the headquarters. Okay. Bobby was saying when he designed Colonel Siege, he had sort of the ideas of like a modern cowboy. I guess it's like Nick Fury, right?
Yeah,
it's like you've got Nick Fury in the Marvel universe, you've got Colonel Siege in the ValaFair Action Force universe. The cool thing about this figure when he's doing it, you've got 2 options. You can have the head sculpt with the cigar in the mouth, or there's the alternate head sculpt without the cigar, and one of his hands has got the cigar molded in one of his extra hands, so you can have the different options. One of the things Bobby was saying was the belt had actually been like designed like a real belt, so it unbuckles. So instead of it being like the previous figures before, where you'd have to slip the belt, so like the gear packs on the troopers, you have to slip the gear pack belt over the legs, or they didn't unbuckle.
They don't unbuckle,
Yeah, this unbuckles. And he also mentioned with the holsters, with the guns, they're sort of done in such a way that they won't, if you wanted to articulate them, it won't hinder the articulation, basically, the hips. So he was trying. I think there are separate pieces. They're separate pieces which are kind of molded together, so it allows for articulation. But yeah, this is your leader of Action Force.
I think this one looks really nice. Tom, I can imagine you liking this one.
I think this looks like if they do the Action Force movie, it should be played by that guy from Avatar. Is it?
Yeah.
But I love it. I think this is my favourite reveal. Especially the cigar head. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I can imagine him controlling a war room, like with his cigar, like, proper angry at everyone. Yeah, I'm liking this, and I get the holsters are cowboy-esque in a way. I like his sort of casual, like he's sort of casual but still ready for anything type thing. I don't know. I just like I like the character. I like the uniqueness of the character. So in regards to day 3, then they also showed off some new body types to the characters that were revealed by the head. So I think these are characters like Buddha and Atlas. I've got different body types, like a more muscular body type. I only remember that because I remember Laserpants saying it was a 3D render of him, or something like that. Yes, that's true. Yeah. So there you go. We're getting different body types now. Different, and again, that was a sense of scale, so you're gonna get a slightly buffer body, etc. But
Bobby also mentioned these 3 body types will be completely different to any existing Action Force figures we've got already, so none of them will be the same as what we've had already.
Very nice. I think people will appreciate that because, again, I think when you start off a line, reuse is important to make the most out your tooling, generate that money. And then when you've got the proper support behind the line, you can start mixing it up a little bit. So, yeah, it makes sense. So then they also showed off, let me find the vehicle first. So this is Vanguard, right? The vehicle, they're showing off. Yeah. Vehicles come in, who knows, probably next year at this point, to be honest. It's going to take a lot of work, I imagine. But it can fit 6 Action Force figures.
Yep. 6 Action Force figures, interchangeable weapons, interchangeable parts, such as the doors. So what Bobby said is there's 1 or 2 things either going to happen depending on the base price point. It will either include different types of cannons, a bit like, I guess, what we saw, well, the options, what we saw with Scrap Iron in Classified, different types of cannons, different types of missile options, or depending on base price point, they may be like add-on packs. Okay. But he's going to sort of determine that. The doors will be removable. So if you want to have photographs of your Action Force figures battling, the enemy forces, like with the doors off the vehicle,
or just use the door as a shield,
or a shield, because they're removable. They also rotate fully 180. You can actually rotate the doors fully around on the body of the vehicle. But lots of different options basically.
Did Bobby mention, this is important by the way, does the vehicle have a top, middle and bottom?
They made a point of it.
Okay, good. I thought so. I knew they would. I'm just making sure they did. Tom, vehicle, Action Force, are you going to be in on this depending on the price point?
Well, I'm hoping the price point will be decent because
they need to made a point of exactly. Yeah. Has to be
reasonable. The point of saying it should be decent, and he won't do it if it isn't. So
maybe he'll charge you for the top, middle, and bottom separately.
The more I see of this, the more I'm more excited about it. To be honest. Yeah, I think I would be in on it.
You ain't got room for this, Tom. Stop lying to yourself.
Well, I've decided to strip bare a third of my Marvel Legends.
Poor Marvel Legends. Poor Marvel Legends. Good job this is Joes+Juice. Okay, so there's Vanguard. The vehicle's on its way. He's just sort of teasing you. He's keeping you on the journey. I think this is something that Mark is very excited about. So this is Crimson Shadow Technologies. So this is a new faction within the lore of Action Force. And I think we've already seen this logo on your tin, right, Tom?
That's right.
Yeah? So that's the first time that they've sort of used this branding as such, is on that weapons tin. Which Tom's got there to show off. So I knew I recognised it, so I was like, okay, so that's from the tin.
So what Bobby Valor actually said specifically down in relation to, if you think about it, this faction is kind of like what Destro is to G.I Joe,
like the Mars type thing.
Yes, exactly. So they're like weapons suppliers. They're very advanced. Bobby made a point of saying they're very advanced. He also mentioned that initially the type of trooper he'd had in mind for this faction was based on the initial action, the 1980s Action Force of the Red Shadows. Initially, he'd done a trooper like that, but what he'd realised was this faction's so advanced they'd have. Well, you're going to see that they'd have more of an android or robotic type.
Well, let's have a little look. See, shall we?
And that led to the reveal of the Praetorian, the Crimson Technologies Praetorian.
Shadow Praetorian,
Shadow Praetorian, which is actually, basically, if you like bats in Classified, if you like Snake Eyes in Classified, here's sort of a merging of the two. This figure will come with ports on its back and arms to adjust the shields, so that the shields it comes with, the energy sort of weapon shields it comes with, can be put on his back, on his arms, in different places depending on how you want to pose him in terms of your photo options. The actual gunfire that's on the shields will also be modular, so it can be placed in different
ricochet. The
ricochets,
ricochet,
placed in different parts. This was the one that kind of essentially stole the show. There was a little video to go along with the presentation of this that kind of like teased it and then went into it. But it is an army builder. They're probably, depending on how Bobby said, this he's anticipating this will they'll make, and this will be the largest run of figures that they'll make for Action Force so far. Yeah, because of anticipation, things like that. So in theory, this could be the most popular figure of the line.
I can see its potential. I do love a robot. I'm not going to lie. I always have this conversation with people. Like, I prefer like futuristic, sci-fi, aliens, robots. I prefer that type of fandom and fantasy rather than witches and wizards and goblins type things. I always sort of gravitate more to this sort of style. When I've seen this picture, it is very stylized, and it reminds me of like Amazing Yamaguchi, just in its look. But I do think that's just because it's got lots of stuff protruding off it. Maybe when you take that off, it's a bit more streamlined and etc. But it is very interesting. I'm curious to see this one in hand. But what we're seeing on the digital renders so far, it seems like it's got a lot of potential for that sort of futuristic army builder. Do you like the look of this, Tom?
Yeah, I love the look of this. I love the shields. Mark, do you know with the bullet, the ricochet, do they obviously go on the shield, but do they go on the body as well?
That's a good point, Tom. He didn't actually mention it, and presumably, if they're the same, they're probably going to be smaller, aren't they?
They are pegs. They are pegs. So there must be.
They are pegs, and the pegs are probably going to be smaller. But presumably, you could probably fudge it so they could go in the holes where the shields are. But they're probably going to be a smaller peg, aren't they? I imagine.
Well, there might be peg holes.
It's going to look cool if he's like almost like Terminator-esque.
Yeah, there might be peg holes on the body. Well, you could get. I'm not saying there is. We don't know, obviously, but you could get like an alternative chest piece that has the holes on for that. So it's like a chest piece you plug in, and then that way you can put the ricochets in. But I think because the shields are all one colour, the sort of hollow holes for the pegs to go in ain't noticeable when they're out, if you know what I mean. But the body, maybe a few holes all over it would be a little bit off-putting, so... Maybe though. I do like that. I like that idea of the bullets all on the chest or something, that you can have one being shot.
I think that's a good idea as well. Yeah. Bobby mentioned
we need a battle damaged version as well.
There you go,
yeah, that's true, Tom. Yeah. Bobby mentioned with this one he'd spoken to I think it was a designer of sort of mech suits and that kind of thing. Again, I think on Instagram, an artist who designed robots and mech suits. We really like the look of who he kind of gone with. One thing I should mention for all the chat who's out there, and I forgot to mention it previously, on day 2 on the ValaFair website they were taking super chats, and a few people from here in the UK asked Bobby about Toys-R-Us. So in case anyone's in the chat wondering, in case we've got anyone from the UK wondering, Bobby did address the Toys-R-Us issue, and he said he's actually tried to contact Toys-R-Us a couple of times himself and got no response. Now the thing is, he did also mention in that chat that he's currently talking to one UK online retailer. A lot of people speculate that it's probably Kapow Toys who stocked Action Force originally from Wave 1 that probably will be restocking it again. So whoever it is, there is a UK retailer he's in talks with. So it's likely, it's looking very likely we're going to get Action Force back with a UK retailer and not just have to go to the ValaFair website, which you can do as well. But, of course, that will help us save on shipping costs. So there is that information for everyone in the chat. And
just to recap, again, on day 2, we didn't mention it, but they did Bobby did officially announce official reissues of Bone Collector, Carrick, and Condor. So you can go backwards, and that's good, I think, for new collectors to come on board and go backwards and stuff. But this in front of us definitely isn't backwards. This is forwards. This is the future of Action Force for sure. So I'm curious to see this in hand. Jay's Toys Collection UK in the chat with us as always. I appreciate you, Jay. He says this android is brilliant design, kinda a mix of Metal Gear Ninja, Terminator, and Arkham Knight. Hit. This will be 100% order, or maybe 100 ordered. Who knows? Jay's going to have to board up another window if that's the case. He said Kapow mentioned it on their Facebook that they hope to stock Action Force again. I think that Kapow got unlucky because they had the first wave that got delayed, which wasn't anyone's fault. So I think people just had a bad experience because of that, and it wasn't necessarily Kapow's fault or Bobby's fault. So I think a second chance for Kapow selling Action Force, where they'd have a better experience and a better customer experience as well, because the product's flowing now, isn't it? So I would like to see Kapow get a second a go at Action Force. So continuing on day 3, that was a big deal, but I do want to mention as well, he talked about the action points. They are going to be redeemable very soon. He didn't say what for or anything, but he did show this picture, Mark.
Yeah, it was quite mysterious, Dan. So he showed, like you said, the Action Force points. Then an image count saying Miami, and then this image, which obviously looks a bit like Chuckles from Classified with the Hawaiian shirt, but it's presumably going to be a mail-away figure. You'd have to assume.
I wonder how many Action Force points. Can I borrow some of yours, Mark? Because you must have loads.
Yes, I have plenty.
Cut some out and send them my way. I need some more. I'll be curious to see how many Action Force points it takes to like get a single figure, because that is encouraging to like invest in a line when you're like, oh, okay,
absolutely.
There's more. Like, there's something to it. I loved mail whales back in the day. The Simpsons used to do it, and I used to get like B Sharp Homer and stuff like that. So
if we have to mail them all the way to ValaFair, so it's going to.
That's interesting.
That's as much as buying the
it's going to being in the UK for this type of stuff is always a pain in the ass. It's just annoying. That's why we need a UK retailer to get hold of these things for us, because there's definitely a fan base for it here in the UK. So out of all of that, after everything we talked about from Action Force and ValaFest, what's your highlights, Tom? What's the thing you're most excited about of the future of ValaFest there?
Colonel Siege and the Praetorian.
I agree.
And weapons packs, more weapons.
More weapons. Tom needs more weapons. He's got a tin to fill. Mark, what about you? Your favourite sort of highlights of the weekend?
Yeah, my favourite. Well, initially War Paint or War Cry Eclipse, but hands down, the best thing for me was Praetorian, hands down.
I'm curious when it comes to Praetorian. I like the sort of the new faction. What else? Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's the start of it, that's the army builder. Who is the Destro of that faction? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious to see, like, is there a guy that's part robot, part man type thing? I'll be curious to see Bobby Vada go in that direction as well. So I am very intrigued to see where they move forward now. So looking good. Greg in the chat says Tat will have to auction off some of his points. Phil Jones has also thrown us back to G.I Joe and saying that Scrap Iron is now sold out on Pulse. So let's end the stream here with a last little refresh on Hasbro Pulse. Again, this stream happened hours ago. Joes+Juice is live and fresh with the news for the first time ever. Scrap Iron is sold out now on Pulse as well. So that's Scrap Iron, the female 2-pack, and Shipwreck all sold out on Pulse. Interesting indeed. So
and Copperhead, I think, as well.
You're right. Copperhead's gone as well. Interesting. Very. So out of the 8 pre-orders, which, let's be honest, everything technically, officially, everything G.I Joe is meant to be a Pulse exclusive. 4 of them are already sold out 4 hours after a stream, or whatever it is, 6 hours after a stream. It's not good enough, Hasbro. It's not good enough. Give those independent retailers some love. They're who gave this line a kickstart in the first place. That accessibility to the community means something. Anyway, that's that. No pre-order for Snow Job yet. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. But let me end the stream by going to the poll here in the chat. Thank you very much to everyone who contributed to today's poll. Quite simply asked the question, what was your favourite pipeline reveal? Tunnel Rat, New Firefly, Low Light, Shadow Tracker. We all said what our favourites were. You'll have to go back and listen to that if you missed it. And it's a draw right now between 3 of them. 110 votes, and 3 of them are on 26%. Tunnel Rat, 26%. New Firefly, 26%. Low Light, 26%. And Shadow Tracker, 21%. Very, very interesting. Can we get one more vote in the poll, maybe, to swing this before we end? Is anybody watching us live right now who has not yet voted in the live poll in the chat can maybe be the deciding vote here? Because I genuinely think one more vote may swing this. I will come back to that to end the stream, because that looks very interesting. Again, if you have not yet voted in the poll, please do. I'm going to let these guys tell you where you can find them online. Tom, always a pleasure. Nice to be here on time for the news for a change, isn't it? Tell the people where they can find you online.
At Mini Plastic Multiverse on Instagram and at Mini Plastiverse on Twitter. But I never go there. So.
Don't even bother tweeting him. I tweet him, he doesn't even reply. I don't really. But he wouldn't know if I did anyway. Mark, what about you? And plug the YouTube, of course, as well.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So you can find me on Instagram at Tac Tac Customs and on YouTube at Tac Tac Toys with Film. And I'd like to reveal it here first.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry, Mark. Go for it.
My name, obviously, is Tac Tac Customs on Instagram. And here is my custom classified Firefly. So I thought it would be appropriate to do on. And now this is a complete a design I actually copied off Instagrams. There's a customizer called G.I Joe Customs, I think, or Ferry the Workaholic. He had a similar kind of Viper design. Sorry, I used a Python Patrol Viper. It's kind of my own faction. Basically, I like to think of it as a G.I Joe guy who's gone undercover in Cobra. So he's kind of like a good guy who's gone undercover as a bad guy.
On screen, because I'm gonna go full screen. I've not even done this before, but I'm doing it live right now. I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna go full screen for Mark. There you go. There it is.
So there we go. So yeah. So I'll be doing a full video on my channel. But I wanted to show it off here on Dan's channel first on Joes+Juice, my classified custom Python. And there we go.
Beautiful.
Looks great.
It does look very good.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah.
The green is always that military colour. Do you know what I mean? You see the green, you think military. And we're going to get more Vipers. We've got to get more Vipers.
I think so. Yeah. And if you're watching Hasbro, feel free to copy me.
There you go. Just make sure you credit him, all right? Send him a check. Send him a check. We have got a deciding vote, people. It's happened. Thank you to everyone who jumped in. We had a few more votes there at the end. And it jumped. It was low light. And then a few more votes come in and it changed to someone else. So the winner is, I'm going to end this poll right now at 120 votes. So thank you very much to everyone who contributed for today's stream. 120 votes. Your winner is the favourite pipeline reveal out of the 4. Have I got the image up? There we go. So out of the 4 here on screen, the favourite with 27% is Tunnel Rat. And then 25% of the vote is Low Light and New Firefly, joint second. And then in third place is the Shadow Tracker. So Low Light and New Firefly, 25%, could not be ripped apart. But Tunnel Rat, the one that caught Tom by surprise, is your winner. So there he is, Tunnel Rat. Okay, fun times, people. Craig's booing in the chat. He's not happy with that decision. Jay, if you post your link, my friend, in the chat, I will tell people, I will share it and tell people to go for it. Give me your link. Apparently, Jay's Toys Collect UK is going a premiere at 10:15, where he is going to give his thoughts on all of the G.I Joe reveals. And as always, you know me, I love supporting everyone else in this community. And Jay's Toys Collection UK is on his way to 1K. So please support, you can, both Mark and Jay, on the YouTube hype. You know I will always support when I can. So yeah, Jay, drop your link and I'll make sure I do the same. Mark's Instagram and YouTube, Tom's Instagram is all in the description of this video. As always, fun talking toys with everybody. Good day for G.I Joe. Great weekend last weekend for ValaFair. And again, we're only in March, people. It's 2023. Still 3 quarters of the year to go. There's going to be a lot more good stuff to come, I am sure. Jay has just dropped in his link. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. Jay's link is pinned. I was going to see if I can get it real quick on screen for you. Last thing before we get out of here. There you go. Go and support Jay. Go and check that out. I will drop the link. It's pinned to the chat right now. Go and support Jay. He's live in 7 minutes, so we best get out of here, all right? So thank you very much, everybody. Fun time talking toys. Let's play the end screen. I think I've got an end screen. This is where we sort of declare all our secrets. Bye-bye. Woo, right, we need a word of the day. Mark, give us a word of the day.
Okay, classified.
Classified, I like it. It's a day of classified reveals. 8 classified pre-orders, and 4 of them are already sold out on Pulse UK. Damn you, Pulse UK. If you are watching until the very, very end of this video, or still watching us live right now, then please write classified in the comments and you get some bonus points. Tom, any final words?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Go to bed, people. It's late in the UK. I need to make Amanda some tea. Goodbye. Amanda,
bye,
can I have an aquarium?